Hello and welcome back. So before we start uploading this, which is the exciting part, I know, in the previous video I showed you how to load this content through the Ajax controller. So that's one way to do it. Now I need to mention that that way is not really very secure because, like you saw, let me open this. Here, the session is different from the main session of the user, and that can open up this for potential problems. Okay, so let's try and fix this issue before we go any further. So I'm going to scrap this whole idea of the ajax.php file entirely. At least you know this is one way to do it. So let's close the ajax.php and come back to the admin section. So as you noticed, we didn't delete any of these things, we just left them as they are. Okay, so let's go up here and remove the ajax.php file. So delete that, that's fine. Okay, that's the Ajax controller. So we want to stick to this. So what we want to do is exploit something here that's we can see. Now that being, okay, so now it's saying page not found and it loaded this instead. Okay, so that's understood because of the file get contents here. So let me just remove that line and so we are good to go. Okay, so that's another extra problem there. If we try to load something that isn't there, then we have that problem. So what we can do instead is this. We go back to the include version of things, okay? And then because we can use a check to see if this is a read operation, okay? If we are reading data, in this case we are reading, right? So in this one, we are not going to use JSON encode at all. We are just going to include this file. So we'll get back to the include method. So we'll say include, and then instead of using root, we're just going to use views path. Oh, I deleted that thing too quickly. Sorry about that. So here I'm just going to say views path like so. And then in here I will add the folders. So course edit tab. There's course landing page there, but also there's course, that's the folder, edit tabs like so, like that. Okay, so now that I included that file, I don't need to specify any of these things. Just include it there and that should do the trick. So if I now refresh, I have a problem because the receiving end here, before I even do that. In fact, we would need this a lot to debug. So what we'll do is we just mute it like so. But in this case, what we'll do is there's this if statement. If type of is equal to object, which means we have brought back an object, then we do this. Now it will never be read because we'll never use this for read. We'll always use it for just other things. So the read part we can ignore. So what we'll do is copy this part. Now, if it's not an object, it's very likely that we are doing a read operation. So in this case, I'm going to do else and put it there like that. Okay. So if it's not an object, let me just do that and let's save. So we get the tabs content and then put the content there. Okay. So if it's not a successful object, meaning we didn't bring back JSON data, just dump the result in the content div and forget about it. So which means we are guessing it's a read operation. But if it became an object, we'll check if the data type is saved, then we'll say data saved. So let's remove this if statement at the top because we only need one. We don't need the read part. So come back here and let's refresh. And we still have a problem. So let's figure out what the problem is. Let's look at the result that we get. I'm just going to refresh the data, and then inspect, go to the console, and let's see what we get. So we do get this form here, but it says unexpected character, so it stops right there in the parse data. Okay, so let's compare what we get when we do a save. So when we do a save, we're going to get JSON data. Now, before we do object json.parse, we need to do a check, first of all, to make sure that we are expecting JSON data. So what I'll do is this. I'm going to put an if statement and say if. Now we just want to get a small percentage of the result. So we'll say if result dot substring, just a bit of the string. Now when we are receiving JSON in our case, because we're going to where is this admin? If we receive JSON, you see there's this info function, okay? It's going to have data as the first thing, or we're going to have an open bracket. The way JSON looks like is this. If you have an array, it's going to have brackets like so, obviously, and then it's going to have maybe arrays inside there. Like in this case, there's data, that's an object, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is, let me mute this, and then I'm just going to get this and put it here, because I just want to make a comparison of how it looks like when I receive JSON and when I don't. So I will refresh this time expecting JSON. So it's giving me an error because I typed something here that I didn't finish. So let me stop that. Now I just want to make sure that regardless what happens, we just dump the result into there and then return. Okay, that way we don't go to objects and do that. Okay, object is undefined. What's going on? There's return there, and okay, let's refresh. What's going on? Oh, okay, I see. So here I just want this one to return result. All right, great. So let's refresh. We forgot the... Actually, I didn't need all of this. All I needed to do was say console.log result. Sorry about that. Let's refresh. Data saved. But this is what we get when we get JSON. You see, it starts with a bracket like this, and then this. Now, we don't know what the rest of this will be, but for as long as we don't get an error or we don't get anything, we'll have this and that as the first text in our result. So the moment we see these two, we will attempt to convert this because it will be JSON. Now we can go a step further and just put a regular expression to try and match this here up to there, where we have any characters here and then this and that. But that's entirely up to you if you want to go that far. But for now, what we can do is we can say if result dot substring. Now a substring is just a piece of the original string, so we'll start at 0 and then we tell it how far to go. Now we just want the first and second character, that's character 0 and 1, so we'll go up to 1 if that is equal to this and that, like so. Now since the double quote is part of the text we are searching, we'll use single quotes on the outside like this. If it's equal to that, then we are expecting this to be an object. So once that happens, we'll do this and then do that. Obj is equal to this. And then we will do the rest of this. If we still check, and then paste like so. Okay, great. But if it doesn't have this, then we can do the else statement here and just dump it like so. Okay, So all we are doing here is trying to check if we are expecting JSON. If this looks like JSON data, then convert it to a JSON object and then try to extract the data. If it doesn't look like that, just dump it in the div. Okay, now it won't be object data, it will just be the entire result like this, because it won't be a JSON object at that point. So let me close this and let's try this again. Okay, so this is what we get. It's just dumped in there, which is nice, I guess. Let's go to, oh wait, should that be the case? No, that shouldn't be the case. If this is equal to that, we do this. Okay, it seems like this is weird. What I would do is I'm going to say alert and show me what that is. Maybe I should have said 2. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, so I should have put two here to say get 2 characters. So start at 0, get 2 characters. Okay, that should work now. If I refresh, data saved. Cool. But let's come back to course landing page and wait, admin, and let's remove this finally. Doesn't belong here, and let's put the include. So we are using the best of both worlds here. We are doing an include at the same time. On other times we are getting back some JSON. That way we avoid the whole reading through file get contents because it complicates things. Let me refresh and this is what we get. Now let me try and save. If I say beginners to, or just edit that and save, I get data saved, and that's good. So it's working just fine without having to resort to file get contents. And we still get some JSON when we save, like this. And then once we save, we should deactivate that as well. So we can deactivate this by just grabbing the, if we go to courses view, the function that deactivates the button is disable save button. So we can do that immediately. We say data saved, and then we disable that button. So let's see if I don't know if that's true there. Save. Okay, true enables it, so we should put false. There we go. So that should save us the trouble and save. Okay, so now it's disabled. Okay, very good. So things are looking up. At least we have what we needed. Let me try and put a course subtitle here just to see if it will save that data as well. And once we do save the content, it would be a good idea to reread the content again so that we can reload it back here, because otherwise once we save, we're not going to know if we have saved, but actually it will be selected. So I guess that's not a big deal anyway. So what I would do here is, let's say a subtitle. That's what I'm just going to put there and hit save, and data saved. So let's make sure it's saved. If I go back to my courses and let me click on edit, and it's not saved. Okay, that's because we're actually not saving anything in there yet. Okay, so no problem. At least we've solved this issue of reading and writing. And yep, from now on we're just going to be creating pages where we need them, and the rest will handle itself. All right, so for now I need to create the saving, because here all we are doing is just returning data and we are not doing any saving in this part. So let's do that in the next video.